Canada, it's just time to, give in and become the 51st state. Well, welcome back to the show. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic. So a man in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho set a wildfire and ambushed first responders. I mean, first of all, what kind of sicko does this type of thing? Like, who actually targets firefighters? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything controversial about firefighters whatsoever? It's just all they do is save people and put out fires. Like, if you want to say, oh, the police, they're corrupt, blah, blah, blah. Has anybody ever heard of the fire department being corrupt in any sort of way? I don't think so, but supposedly the man has been identified. It's some kid with his parents, his mom and his stepdad, or some huge Trump supporters. So basically this is just looking like a situation where the kid hates his parents because they love Trump so much and they just want to see America be great. And he got indoctrinated by the school system or somebody he was playing a video game with online. That's exactly how it happens. It's either the school system turns these kids against their parents, or it's like somebody online when they're playing a video game with, because the video game industry, a lot of people in that, and just play video games are total libs, but yeah, the kid totally got indoctrinated by somebody to where he would do something this radical and take out set a fire and take out first responders. How insane is that? It's just completely, you have to be totally mentally deranged. And it just goes to the mental health situation in America. It's terrible, It's basically the worst it's ever been. And it also could be the whole Democrats calling for violence and just the mainstream media talking about just how terrible Trump is and blah, blah, blah. It's just, the kid had to be some sort of indoctrinated kid, radicalized to do something like this, especially to firefighters. Like I said, has anybody ever heard of a corrupt firefighter? I mean, all they want to do is save people's lives and put out fires. I mean, what a sick world we're living in, folks, but this is where we're at. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Canada has officially bent the knee to Trump with their trade talks. They ended their digital services tax on American businesses. It's 3% or something, which Canada, it's just time to, give in and become the 51st state. I mean, you're not going to beat Trump. I know they keep trying to beat Trump and stick it to the man, and it just keeps ending with them bending the knee and basically begging for Trump to not take the 51st state. That's basically where it's at, and it's I get it. They gotta, stand strong for their people and try to pretend like they're going after Trump. And their whole election became, we need to vote the person in who's going to go after Trump and who can take on Trump. And every time you talk to a Canadian, they want to tell Americans how we don't understand Canadian politics, which we don't need to understand Canadian politics. They're just afraid of the liberal media, and that's it. They let their conservative candidates, be controlled by what the liberal media might say about them. So they control their message, which is just completely pathetic. I mean, you think Trump would have allowed the liberal media, the left-wing media, to control his message? No, the guy completely destroyed the woke left-wing media. Get out of here. But yeah, so Canada, we're done hearing about how great your medical care is, because also Trump blew the lid off that we basically completely subsidize your medical care since you rip off America to the tune of $200 billion a year. Yeah, it's time to just quit pretending you had a good run as a country, but it's looking like you're going to need to become the 51st state here. Unless you want to keep pretending and, you want to just basically let us destroy you in the trade deal to where you will eventually become the 51st state. I mean, that's just what I see happening, and, I think that's what Trump wants. He wants Canada, and he wants a huge land grab. He wants to be the president who has the most land grabs in history, and frankly, I don't blame him. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Trump claims he has found a buyer for TikTok, and he just needs President Xi and China's approval. Go ahead, roll the clip.
It's like TikTok. I'm extending that, but no big deal. We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval, and I think President Xi will probably do it.
Who's buying?
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
a big technology company there.
Very, very wealthy people. It's a group of very wealthy people.
Yeah, so go ahead and let me know. I mean, do you even care if TikTok gets banned at this point? I mean, I don't really think it's that big of an issue anymore. It's pretty much just embedded into American culture now. Everybody loves their TikTok, you know. And Trump doesn't want to be the guy who bans TikTok. He gets it that just millions and millions of Americans would be pissed if he banned TikTok, and he doesn't really have anything against TikTok. It's just as long as China's not completely controlling the damn thing and stealing everybody's data and, you know, just basically ruining Americans' minds by their sending their algorithm just pure BS, you know. Trump doesn't care, and I don't think anybody else really cares, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, whatever. Good for Trump, found a buyer for TikTok. Hopefully they could completely revamp that platform and make it so it's less, you know, like, oh, community guidelines violations for saying like anything negative about trans people, or you know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically where TikTok's at right now. You say anything negative about anything, like you can't even talk about an election on TikTok without getting a community guidelines violation, you know, or, oh my God, you say anything about a trans person and, oh, there you go, community guidelines violation. But so yeah, hopefully whoever Trump's getting in there to buy TikTok can streamline it, kind of like Elon did with X, to make it just a platform for everybody to say whatever the hell they want, you know, not make it some just like, you know, lib cesspool where you can't even really say anything real, you know. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So Greta Thunberg has a new grift. I called it a couple weeks ago. Go ahead, roll the clip.
Today I am joining thousands of people in Budapest, Hungary, who are defying Viktor Orban's desperate attempt to ban the Pride March. Pride is both a protest but also a celebration of love and who we are. This is yet another fascist attack on human rights, but you cannot ban love. So I hope to see you all on the streets.
Yeah, so I don't know how this woman gained any sort of popularity or following. We all know she started as the climate change grifter, claiming that we're all going to be dead by a certain date, and that date came and went, you know, then so she pretty much had to give up that scene. So she moved on to the Palestine grift and, you know, liberating Gaza with the Freedom Flotilla to Gaza, and the Israeli IDF completely put an end to that scene. So she moved. So I guess now she's pivoted to the pride parades in Hungary. I guess their Prime Minister Viktor Orban in Hungary doesn't want pride parades anymore. So of course she's got to move on to the next grift. I was claiming it was a couple weeks ago the new grift was going to be illegals in LA, because when she was doing the Freedom Flotilla to Gaza, you know, the whole ICE raid riots were going on. I was like, oh yeah, she's going to be, once this is over in a couple days, she's going to be off to illegals in LA. But apparently, I guess her next grift was the whole, it was pride parades in Hungary, you know. Just as you'd expect, too. This is total Greta Thunberg freaking grift type thing. It's just, I can't believe people even pay attention to this woman still, like, and she's even like in the news. You know what I'm saying? It just shows where people are at and how they can easily be manipulated by anyone, even some young girl who's just shouting from the rooftops, blah, 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 climate change, you know? I can't believe people are that stupid, but here we are, it's 2025. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.